gorgeous people. How are we all doing? I have loved seeing your comments come in. Just while I was waiting to go live, it is so lovely to see so many of you here. I'm back for day 2. So let's just quickly go through. Oh, there's so many. Tracy Smith, hello lovely. I hope you are doing okay from very dull East Yorkshire. Oh dear. Hopefully it will brighten up, lovely. Another Tracy from a very wet and dull Wales. Sorry the weather's not too good where you guys are. I have to say, we've got sunshine on the Isle of Wight, which is like, it feels like it's been a long time coming. I won't lie. Hello Karen lovely, hope you are doing okay. Tam lovely, how are you doing? From a local library. Oh, fabulous. Murray, good morning lovely, hope you are doing okay. I just saw you not that long ago in the other group. Hi Melanie, lovely to have you here, hope you're doing okay hun. Hi Rebecca. Hi Lisa, hi Samantha Jones, fabulous name. For those of you that remember Samantha Jones from Sex and the City, love that. Anita, Rebecca, I did say morning to you, didn't I? Well, afternoon now. Karuna, am I saying your name right? That is a beautiful name, love that. From Glastonbury, lovely to have you here. Hi Lou, oh gorgeous Lou. Actually, I should say Lou is going to be joining us next week. She is going to be sharing a little bit about her journey. So super excited about that. Rebecca, lovely. Sue, Fran, Deborah, Claire, Mary, Wendy, Julie. So good to have you here. Welcome. I so hope you enjoyed day 1. And what I wanted to do actually is start off by saying, who has done the visualization for day 1 and how did you find it? How did that feel for you? Did you feel like you got to grips with starting to create a bit more presence with your body and understanding where it is, where your nervous system is, what qualities are coming up for you? And did you take the time to do it, the whole 15 minutes? Because so often we can make an excuse, can't we? We can find a reason not to. Rebecca, your head went all tingly. Oh, lovely. Love that. Melanie, yes, it was great to use later. Are you using it tonight? Because we've got another one today. We've got a different one today. Tracy, you did it fabulous. And you pulled a card that was really appropriate. Yeah, I saw your post in the group, lovely. Absolutely love that. Did it again this morning to connect in with your body. Slept really well afterwards. Drifted off to sleep. Totally relaxed, fell asleep. Okay. Fabulous. That's a very good sign for those of you that are saying it sent you straight off to sleep. Because if you've been struggling with sleep, that would indicate one of the main things that is standing in your way is your nervous system. So we're on the right track. So fabulous. So, oh, I'm loving that everyone did it and then went to sleep. Yeah, Melanie, I saw that your hubby did it as well. I love that. Brilliant. So what I was going to do with you today, I thought I'd do something different actually. So normally it's just me talking at you, and then I often get sidetracked with the comments, which I love. So please don't stop the comments. But I'm easily distracted. That's just who I am. So I thought I'd try and keep us on track today with some slides. Something a bit different. We'll see if it works, if it helps, if it doesn't. If not, we'll throw them out the window. So, let me see if I can do it first. Let's see if we can get the technology to work for us. Ooh, can we see that? Everyone seeing that okay? I'll just wait for a moment. Yep, I'm seeing the thumbs up coming through. Brilliant. Okay. So what I wanted to do is just recap on the self-healer method that we started to talk about yesterday. So in my methodology, I use Ayurveda as my strategy, but the main thing is having a truly holistic strategy. So what I mean by truly holistic is something that looks at the food you're putting into your body, the exercise you're doing, how you're managing your mind, emotions, mood, well-being, lifestyle, everything under one practice. And the main reason that bit's so important is because otherwise we can end up with these kind of conflicting strategies going on when we're trying to heal our body. And we'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. The second section is really understanding your body, because there's no point using a strategy that worked for Karen down the road, or sorry Karen, using you as an example because I saw your name, or that diet that worked for Doris, or that exercise program that worked for Beryl. I don't know where these names are coming from now. They're just coming. Because you will have a different body type. So it's really important you understand what's going on for your body. So today we will start to look at the different imbalances that will come up in your nervous system. And over the next 3 days, we will look at 3 different patterns and how they present themselves. And with these patterns, you will see things from all of them that you relate to. But you'll find there's normally 1 or 2 that you will notice will really ring true for you. And you will think, yes, that's exactly how I get. So a bit more about that in a moment. And then the self-healer mindset, which is what we started to look at yesterday. And actually on the next slide, we'll go into that in a bit more detail. Hi, Gabby, lovely. Gabby's also a gorgeous lady that will be joining us next week to share about her journey. So, yeah, lots of gorgeous things coming up for you all. And that's just a quote because, when you get beautiful quotes and feedback like this, then it's just rude not to share it. So I just thought I would pop that on the slide because it fills me up when I receive feedback like that from gorgeous clients. So, oh, a minute. Now I need to figure out how to... Hey, there we go. So just a reminder of what we were talking about yesterday around the self-healer mindset. Now, we can fall into the trap of being in this wellness seeker mentality. And what I mean by this, and I shared a bit about my journey through this and what this looked like for me. So there was the main stage was what I call kind of wellness dabbling. So I was, I would take a supplement because I read about how it helps someone else with rheumatoid arthritis. So, things like turmeric supplements, people do this all the time, but the truth is turmeric in the form of supplements will not be absorbed into your body. I was also drinking loads of green tea because I heard it was good for you. But actually, where I was at that stage, green tea was the worst thing that I could have been taking in. I went vegan. I turned vegan because, one, I also did it for the environmental reasons, but also I was a bad vegan, if I'm honest. I wasn't worried about making sure I had a balanced diet, but I wanted to take out the hormones and things that I was taking into my body through the animal products. So in that respect, there were some really good things there, but actually I was managing the diet completely wrong for what I needed. I was seeing a variety of healers, but if I'm honest, none of them aligned. They were probably contradictory in terms of energy. So there was a lot of dabbling going on. There was no one strategy. There was no, I'm out of balance like this, I need this. So when we go into the self-healer, the mode of the self-healer, we realise that doesn't serve us. We have to look at, what am I actually trying to achieve here? And over the next 3 days, we will really start to look at that strategy in a bit more detail so you can understand this. So again, like I was saying before, the wellness seeker, you can fall into this idea of one size fits all. Because we grow up believing that, right? In the West, it's like everyone should eat salads if they want to be healthy. And actually, a lot of the conversations I have with my clients are, cut back on the raw fruit and veg. It's, your digestive system is not strong enough right now to be coping with that. I also have a lot of conversations around, but actually, how much of the other stuff are you taking in? Sometimes we can get into this mentality of being too focused on what we think is healthy. Like say, instead of that holistic strategy, which is what we're aiming for. Also in the wellness seeker mindset, we can end up thinking that it makes more sense to be kind of investing in lots of little things as opposed to something that's genuinely going to help. So I remember the first time I invested in my health, it was a really big deal for me. I had not spent money on something that was purely for me. Ever, I don't think, other than like clothes, and even then I felt guilty. So we can fall into the trap of thinking, I'll just buy these supplements, I'll just do this thing, I'll just go for this treatment. And actually, I spent a fortune during that time of being the wellness seeker, looking for these little quick fixes. We can also fall into the habit of not wanting to ask for help. And we will go into a bit more about that today. So I'm going to leave that one for the moment. But also undervaluing the impact our wellness has on everyone around us. When I was really unwell, not only did it affect what I could physically do with my family, I couldn't go for walks with the kids, I couldn't go play football down the beach, I couldn't do all of these nice things. But also the sad thing is, to look back, I really wasn't much fun to be around. I was probably a grumpy cow, if I'm honest. So please don't underestimate the value of your well-being, not only on you, but the people around you. And also, one of the other things we can do is wait till things get really bad before doing something about it. And what I know from my health, from my training, from working with lots of different clients, is actually the longer we leave it, the more out of balance we go. The more out of balance we go, the harder it is to pull it back into balance. The longer it will take, the more effort it will take. So what we want to do is step into the self-healer mindset. So what is the self-healer mindset? Just a recap. It's about being really radically honest with yourself about where you are, what's going on for you, what's important to you, and taking radical responsibility for that. Like I mentioned, it's having that one holistic strategy, something that's going to tie everything together, so you're not doing this kind of sporadic, trend chasing, superfood ingesting, supplement testing wannabe, basically. They understand So the self-healer understands their body, they understand their mind, they understand how they work and what things will work for them and what things won't. And instead of fighting against that, working with that. So like I shared the story of how I know I'm not the sort of person that will ever be able to stick to a diet, ever. So I have to allow myself indulgence. I have to, because otherwise I self-sabotage. So I work with who I am. I don't fight against it. I know as the self-healer that when I say yes to what's my body needs, what I need, then actually that serves everyone around me. And my kids and my husband will tell you that. They will point out to me if I haven't done my meditation. They will point out to me if I haven't been looking after myself. Although I do like to think that I'm actually getting to that stage several years down this journey that I can do that myself, but actually the people around you, often they see it before you do. The other thing with the self-healer is knowing when you need help, not being afraid to ask for help, not being afraid to put your hand up and say, actually, do you know what? I really need someone to support me with this. I've tried to do it on my own, or I know that I can't do this on my own, and actually it's all right to ask for help. And I don't need to be scared about that, and I don't need to fear vulnerability, and I don't need to worry about judgment, because I'm owning my own health and well-being. And most importantly, they act on the niggles rather than waiting for things to progress and get worse. So you know those things, those, little issues, that kind of, it could be a problem with your skin, a problem with your digestive system. It could be, generally these niggles are those little aches and pains that we kind of put off or normalise. Or with menopause, it is often the menopause symptoms. We think, oh, that's just menopause. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be your experience of menopause. That is your body saying something is out of balance. So, what we're going to be looking at today is the strategy element behind all of this. And I've simplified this as much as I can because I won't lie, Ayurveda can be complex. But I try in my teachings to break it down so it is simple to follow, it is simple to understand, and teach it in a way that intuitively you will just get this. You will just know this. And in terms of our nervous system, there is 3 main patterns that will show up. The pattern of Pitta, which predominantly is aligned to the element of fire. So what I mean by that is it will present similar qualities as we would associate with fire. We have the energy of Vata. And Vata, its predominant element is air. So it will present qualities that are similar to air. This will all make sense in a moment, so bear with me. And then we have Kapha, which has the predominant element of earth. Which means you will see symptoms that you would associate with earth. So this will all come together during our next 3 days together. We will be looking at these 3 individually on each day. What a healthy amount of this energy looks like and what an excess amount of this energy will look like. So diving straight in, we are going into Pitta. Let me just catch up on comments. 2 seconds. Star, really pleased to hear that. Lovely. Yeah, taking note of the niggles. Who said that? Oh, I'm not sure. It's not showing me. But yeah, really good point. Star, you're going to watch later? No problem, lovely. Hope you enjoy. Gabby, at the moment you have lower back pain, but you know it's emotional and your digestive system is low. So have balanced out your kapha. So today, off to the shop to get some gorgeous food to nurture it. Beautiful. And for those of you that feel like Gabby is talking double Dutch, Gabby was one of my clients, has been through one of my programs, was in my membership for a long time. So she is a queen at this now, so knows exactly what her body needs. So you will understand all of this too. Becca, will you get a copy of the slides? Yes, you're more than welcome to have a copy of the slides, lovely. I will send it out with this presentation today, if that makes sense. So, the energy of Pitta. And like I say, instinctively we will know this. When we think of fire, or people that we call fiery people, or like red hot people, then certain things will come to mind. So in a healthy state, if you have a healthy amount of Pitta energy, you will feel passionate about things. So naturally, I have a lot personally of this energy. We all will have a mix of these energies, some more than others, and this is one of the areas where I have more energy. So I get very passionate about things. You've probably noticed. Healthy Pitta looks like good leadership. It looks like being able to lead a team and bring on people with your ideas and encourage and inspire. It's that feeling of being motivated without having to dig too deep, but you naturally want to go do things. You naturally want to take that action to get you where you need to be. You get the support you need because you're in that space of knowing that something needs to happen, something needs to change, and you'll just get the support that you need. It's like a no-brainer. And it can also look like I say, inspiring, but also you tend to know when someone's got a lot of Pitta energy or they're really tapped into their Pitta energy because there's a charisma. So whenever I think about this, I think of Barack Obama comes to mind. I think he's got a really good healthy dose of Pitta energy where he just oozes that kind of confidence. He just invites you to just believe in him. So it's a really healthy thing to do, to have this energy. But one of the things that can happen, and this is especially the case during perimenopause mainly, basically we're going from a time in our life where we naturally need a lot of this Pitta energy into a different season of our life where this energy will reduce. But that also means that because we've been in the Pitta time of our life, we can accumulate this energy and it can go into excess. So excess Pitta energy can look like menopausal rage. Anyone struggling with this? Anger, being snappy, being impatient with those around you, lacking tolerance. Let me know how many people have all of a sudden found that they have far less patience for those they love around really silly little things. Or, when you step back and look at them, you realise they're silly little things. Lou, lovely. Yeah. And then when we get into this state of excess, it becomes a bit addictive. It becomes a bit like you can feel a bit like an adrenaline junkie. You want that adrenaline to kick in. So you can go into overdrive. You try and do it all. You don't want to stop. You don't want to accept help because no one can do it better than you. And then what happens as this begins to peak, as you get into this adrenaline cycle, you start to burn out. And so then comes in your cynical side. All of a sudden you're cynical of everyone. You don't want to hear anything emotional. Anything kind of emotional is kind of triggering for you. It just annoys you. People being upset will just annoy you. And then to keep this going even more, you will start to beat yourself up. Start to pile on the judgment. And feel like you should be better. And then this drives more overworking, more overdoing, and this vicious cycle continues until you burn out. Who can relate to this? Who feels like this is ringing some alarm bells for them? I think you're actually more patient. Yeah, and as we move through into menopause itself, this pitta energy will decrease, and that's a good thing. That's what we want, because we're coming into a vata time of life. But during perimenopause, this is generally where we see more pitta coming up. How does avoidance interact with pitta energy? I definitely still rebalancing for the better, but I am still fighting with avoidance. Definitely. So this comes down to a lot of the time the avoidance of emotions. When we go into excess in pitta energy, we can become overly analytical, overly logical, overly black and white. So emotions can feel unproductive, they can feel inconvenient, they can feel, we can hold a lot of judgment around anything that's coming up for us emotionally, and therefore we tend to avoid it because I should be doing something productive. It's kind of how the body's responding. So I hope that makes a bit more sense, lovely. That's interesting. I don't know who said it. Deborah, you actually feel like you need a bit more pitta energy. Stay tuned for day 4. I think we will be going into that. Well, we will look at one of the other energy centers and how that presents, because that sounds a bit more like kapha energy. Tracy, you've moved through this. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely relate. Claire. Yeah. So this is mainly one of the things that we see during that beginning of the transition. So what can we do about it? Let's go there. Oh yeah, interesting. I love the fact that you're all really thinking about this and thinking about when it came up for you and where you are now. So the remedy for this is the exact thing that you will want to avoid when you are in excess pitta. Because you'll be so busy judging everything and being cynical of everything and feeling like you've just got to do everything, that actually what you really need to do is stop and give yourself some self-love. Because the thing is, when we're out there judging everyone about how, being impatient with everyone, or no one can do it as well as me, and getting frustrated with others, really it's just a reflection of us getting frustrated with ourselves, piling the pressure on ourselves, piling the judgment on ourselves, and coming back to that phrase of, I'm just not good enough. So we have to turn to self-love. And actually, let me show you this 1 minute. I thought I would actually remind you with my self-love t-shirt today. Don't know if you can see. There you go. So, I thought today we would do an exercise together to really start cultivating this feeling of self-love. Because if you've struggled with this, if you struggled with self-worth, if you struggled with feeling like you're not good enough, you should be doing more, you should be better, all of those kind of disempowering mindset monkeys that can go on for us, then actually flipping that round to feeling like you're worthy. You deserve good things. You deserve to have a healthy body. You deserve to have energy. You deserve to get a good night's sleep. Then that can be a big switch to try and flick. That can feel like a huge step away. Ali helps, if I call it self-compassion, helps me to think, how would I see if having compassion for someone else? Ooh, interesting. You're kind of reading my mind there, lovely. And that's so true. Compassion is, it's a beautiful energy about it, hasn't it? And one of the meditations I used to do when I was really struggling with this is the Buddhist loving kindness meditation. So I would certainly recommend you also follow this with a loving kindness meditation as part of your practice if this is something you really struggle with. Tam, you know this remedy works because this was you, and then you learnt to love yourself more and you're doing much better. You used to think it was just a fad, but it's the truest thing I have ever discovered and explored. I hope to never be without it now. I will not allow myself to be without it ever again. Absolutely love it. Beautiful. And Ali, that's your favourite meditation too. Beautiful meditation. So today we're going to do a bit of an exercise which is not the loving kindness meditation, but I certainly recommend that if you struggle with self-love and self-compassion. But a visualization. And what I will say as we go into this, don't be put off by the word visualization. Some people see, like literally see, in a visualization. Some people just know something's happening. Some people just sense it. Some people feel it. Some people have limited like awareness around what they're experiencing. But just trust whatever your experience is of this visualization. Trust that it will give you what you need. There will always be medicine available to you. Just trust that it's coming. And Tam, that's something you're making friends with. I love that. Beautiful. So I invite you to get a nest ready or lay down. Do whatever you need to do. I have got a whole... bear with me. I've got so many cushions surrounding me right now. I've got a proper nest going on today. So take a moment, get comfy, do whatever you need to do. And you may also want a journal and a pen afterwards in case you want to note down any experiences for you. So I'll just give you a moment to do that while I have a sip of my tea. I don't normally wear white, and I've found today that I've been a bit like anxious every time I ate or drank something in case I like spilt it all down myself. So just thought I'd share that. So get yourself comfy. Maybe give yourself a little wiggle so you can, find what feels comfy for you. And as and when you're ready, I invite you to either soften your gaze or close your eyes, whichever feels more comfortable for you. And just taking a moment to settle into the body. Allow your awareness to rest with that gentle rise and fall that happens in the belly. And we're not trying to control the breath in any way, we're just noticing how it is for us in this moment. Getting curious. Making a note of how fast or slow it is for you today. What kind of texture it has, whether it's smooth or a bit more jittery, maybe even spiky. Noticing whether the rhythm of the breath is steady and whether it's creating a regular beat or a melody of its own. And none of these are any better or worse than another. We're just allowing it to be whatever it is in this moment. And in your mind's eye, I invite you to imagine someone that you know or may have known in the past who has loved you unconditionally, despite any faults or flaws, all those things you judge about yourself. Bring someone to mind that has loved you unconditionally. And if you can't think of someone, you can just imagine someone that might love the whole package that is you. And imagine that person stood in front of you now. Notice how they're looking at you. What's their expression? What energy are they giving off to you? Imagine they become more and more real in your mind's eye. And like I said, you may not see them, you may just feel them, sense them. Imagine that they're there in front of you, looking at you with unconditional love. And I want you to imagine now that you're stepping out of your body and stepping into theirs. And I want you to notice in their mind, what are all the things they love about you? What do they think makes you really special? Which of your qualities? How do they perceive what you judge to be your flaws? And allow this list to get longer and longer. Maybe to do with the way that you think, the way that you act, the things that you do. Maybe the way that you look. The way you look after those around you. How you show up in this world. What do they love most about you? What do they think is so special? And so uniquely you. And notice if your ego wants to kick in at any time, or you start feeling embarrassed at thinking all these nice things about yourself, and just park that. You can come back to that modesty later, but right now just allow yourself to just see and feel this long list of everything that is wonderful about you. No one else, just you. And notice how this feels in the body. This feeling of, do you know what? I'm pretty damn well fabulous. Allow that to fill you up. That feeling of love and gratitude for yourself, for who you are, for the qualities you possess. Perhaps even reconsidering your flaws as gifts. Just enjoy that feeling a moment. Like I say, if at any point your ego wants to jump in and say, no, we don't do this. We look at the flaws, we don't look at the good points. Just park that to one side and allow yourself this time and space to really just enjoy this moment. And as and when you're ready, bringing this energy with you, this energy of self-love, slowly opening your eyes, coming back into the outside world. So lovelies. How is that? I'll be honest, I heard my daughter drop something upstairs just towards the end of that meditation, and it made me jump. Hopefully you didn't hear that too. But I would love to know what came through for you. What do you love about yourself? What felt really good in that moment? What did you feel really proud of? What did you just think? What did you see differently? Tam, tears overflowing. I couldn't stop crying. Julie, it's perfectly normal because we don't allow ourselves to see ourselves in this way. And that makes me feel very emotional saying out loud. Because how sad is that? How sad is it that we, how sad is it that we go through the majority of our life, most of the time, not considering how special we are. And also not treating ourselves like we are special. I've completely gone now. I love that. Melanie, think you fell asleep. You must have needed it, lovely. Okay. So hopefully you're starting to flip that perception of yourself. You're starting to realise just how beautiful and wonderful you are. And I'm crying now. And how much you deserve your time, your attention, your care, just as much, if not more so, than everyone around you. You may be able to tell this is something I'm very passionate about. Through my programs, I spend just as much time teaching this feeling of self-worth, this feeling of self-love, as I do the Ayurvedic strategies and the how to balance your health. Because the point is, if you don't get this bit right, you're not going to do the work. You're not going to do what it takes to actually rebalance your health, to put yourself first, to spend the time on you. You just won't. So this is fundamental in addressing any imbalance in the body. First and foremost, you've got to care enough about yourself and see how special you are. Oh, Lou, that's beautiful. Really beautiful. Okay, so I feel very emotional now. I cry a lot in this group. You'll probably get used to it if you're new here. Yeah. Yes, Rebecca, it does take time, lovely. And it's one of the most rewarding parts of my job, is seeing when someone goes from a place, and I've had clients that have gone from places of real self-loathing to a place of self-love and confidence, and have the tools and strategies they need to rebalance their health and well-being. Wow, I get to do that, and it's absolutely beautiful to watch. Okay, so lovelies. Today you have another visualization coming to you. Hopefully a little less emotional than this one, although feel free to dive into the emotional stuff. But it is looking at our emotions. As I've said, with Pitta, when we're in excess, one of the things we can do is go into avoidance around our emotions. We don't want to admit we're soft. We don't want to admit that we've got this really, sometimes like an inner child that just needs to be held and told that she's loved and told that she's cared for. So the visualization today is more a meditation and taking time to just watch your emotions. Allow them to be there. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And just see it for what it is, just a beautiful dance of energy within you that's trying to tell you something. So that will be your visualization for today. It's coming to you with this recording. I'll also include a copy of the slides for those of you that want them. Tina, lovely. You will get there. And yeah, keep working on it. Because you deserve to be loved. And here's the thing. And you know, we hear this a lot, but it's true. We will never properly feel loved by someone else until we can take that time to really love ourselves. And I get really emotional about this because, you know, it reminds me of a load of clients that have gone through this work and the beautiful transformations I've seen at the end. But also, this was my journey. In my health, when I talked about my health being out of balance, the reason my health got so out of balance was because I was so far in pitta energy. I was overworking. I was doing all the things. I was trying to be superwoman. And underneath it all, when I stripped back the layers of all of that, it came back to one fundamental thing. I didn't feel good enough. And it wasn't until I addressed that my health wasn't going to change until I addressed that. And it's still a work in progress. This is an ongoing lifetime, an ongoing journey, especially if you have the tendency to have excess pitta energy. So, be patient with yourself, lovely. You will get there. Tam, I'm so glad you found this community too. I have loved working with you in my meditation program. Oh, Ali, I'm so pleased, lovely. Difficult but good. And this comes back to the self-healing mentality of being radically honest with yourself, because it's not until we're radically honest with ourselves about where we are and where we need to do work that we can actually do something about it. Yeah. Okay, lovelies. Yeah. And the thing is, Tina, any imbalance in the body can make us feel like we've lost ourselves. It can make us feel like we don't know who we are anymore. And we attach so much of our identity around like really physical things as well. Things like, you know, I remember feeling really lost when my arthritis was at its worst, because that wasn't who I am. That wasn't who I was in my head. Do you know what I mean? I was this go-getter. I was this, you know, driven person, and then all of a sudden I wasn't. I was this person that had to rely on everyone around me, that had to learn to ask for help. I was this, and it just completely rocked my sense of identity. I didn't know who I was anymore. And we can go through that transition so many times throughout our lifetime. But what I also know is it's from those times that I felt lost that I've really got to know myself on a deeper level, really got to understand myself, and got to make changes and different choices and decisions that was going to support me. So sending you so much love, hon. Love, so pleased to hear that, Rebecca. Okay, lovelies. And yes, Tracy, of course that's okay. So sending you so much love. Have a gorgeous day. I will see you tomorrow here for day 3. We will be diving into the energy of Vata tomorrow. So this is also an area we really go out of balance more towards when we've transitioned. When I say transitioned, I mean when we've had our last period and we're in that space afterwards, then we can tend to be more out of balance in Vata. So we will go into that in a bit more detail tomorrow, how that shows up in our nervous system, and most importantly, what we can do to get it back into balance. I will send that email out to you now. Have a gorgeous day, and I will see you soon. Take care.